Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. VTP Stage 2 Online Technical Tuesday Coaching Call 194 for 2nd of June 2026. Hope you're well. Hope you've had a good start to the week. Hope you're ready for another interesting and eventful week ahead. As always, you're very welcome here. Just remember that you are always responsible for your own trading decisions. All right, so here we are, Kiwi dollar. Okay, it's Kiwi dollar profile. Kiwi dollar, euro Kiwi, pound Kiwi, Kiwi Swiss, Kiwi yen, Aussie Kiwi, Kiwi Canadian, and gold on the daily. All right. So where can we start here? Well, actually, why don't we? We know that Kiwi has been strengthening, Canadian has been weakening, and that's just kind of reflected there. Certainly last week, that was that kind of like real risk on, and that's also oil dropping. It's a little bit of a breather, but if I look at this on the monthly chart, okay, the monthly chart, that is actually quite a big, strong candle for last month. Also, it is only, if we look at that, it's only the second time, okay, since when was that? Since 2021. So, in nearly 5 years, it's only the second time that it's actually thrust up and closed above that monthly 50. Now, you can see what happened here back in what was that, 2024. It came up and it got shot straight down. The overall trend has been weaker, but I'll be curious to see whether at the end of this month how that plays out. Does it stay above the 50, or does it get punted all the way back down? Okay, so yeah, I'll be watching that on a kind of much longer term moves. Certainly the weekly, you can see it has strengthened and it is above that weekly 200, which has acted as, weekly 200, monthly 50s, and it's acting as dynamic resistance, but it actually closed above it. All right, let's see at the end of this week, can it stay above it? That will be a little curious point for me to watch on. As we said, Aussie against Kiwi, all right, has been look at that. That is just a great trend. Okay, great weekly trend. But then look what happened there. Bang. We had that huge, big bearish key reversal. I think I talked about this a week or two ago. Bearish key reversal. Okay, down to the 120. We've had a bit of a reaction from it. Perhaps not a massive surprise there. Boom. Right. The question is this just a bit of a dead cat bounce? All right. If it can't get above the 50 and the 20, and it starts to put in, bearish reversal, pin bars, etc. Well, then I'll be saying, well, then we've just had a bit of a ski jump that's just going to take us back down to 120. So I think the next couple of days, all right, you might want to be just keeping an eye on that. As we said, Euro Kiwi has, if you look at that, Euro has been weakening against the Kiwi, all right? Okay, just you can see that for the last couple of months. That's just the way, and it accelerated last week, didn't it? You can just see that was that bang. There we go. It's accelerated away on the daily chart, and that is just that reflection of kind of Euro weakness, Kiwi strength. All right, you've had a little bit of a reaction to it there, but I'll be intrigued to see. That's a nice 4-hour chart there from last week. All right, will it pull back a bit before it extends lower? All right, that's what we'll have to wait and see there. So Kiwi, as you said, just very quickly, you can see that over last week we had, Kiwi strengthening against the US dollar, Kiwi strengthening against the yen, Kiwi strengthening against Aussie. We saw that is against Kiwi, strengthening against the euro, strengthening against sterling, strengthening against Canadian dollar, even strengthening against the Swiss franc. All right, so there is Kiwi strength, creeping in there. So keep an eye on that.